This Sunday of Palm Sunday, of the Sunday of the Passion, is a day of tension. And that's inherent in the name. It's really two Sundays, the Sunday of the Passion and Palm Sunday. And in that tension, we have two things going on. We have the victorious entrance into Jerusalem. And we have what that victorious entrance leads to, mainly the death of Jesus Christ upon the cross. The tension today is between those two things: victory and the despair at destruction and death. It's a tension that we live into in our faith, in our lives every single day, that we live in a world that is still filled with destruction, death, sin, and despair, even though we have the hope of the victory of Jesus Christ in his death upon the cross and in his glorious resurrection that follows. That tension is something we very much see now. We very much see that death and destruction and disease are all around us, are unavoidable things, are things that we must live with in this world. And so in many ways, that tension between victory and death is something that we very much are living into now. It's something that we are very much going to be living into for this Holy Week. Because while we have that hope of Jesus' victory over the death and the grave, we are also sorrowful, as Jesus and the disciples were, because we cannot celebrate this celebration together. Not yet. So I would invite you on this Sunday of the Passion, Palm Sunday, and during this Holy Week, to remember that tension and to live more fully into that tension, because we have an opportunity to do so now in a way that we haven't before, and hopefully will never have to again, at least in our lifetimes. You may feel sorrow this week, sorrow that you cannot be here in this lovely church, that we cannot celebrate it face to face yet. So allow that sorrow to be there. Allow it to remain a little bit. Live into that tension. Live into the feeling that Jesus and the disciples would have experienced. Live into their experience of this moment. And do know that even in that tension, there is that sense of victory, even if we don't get to celebrate it together yet. Even though we don't get to see the fruits of that victory on this side of our lives, but in the life to come. Be there in that sorrow and that tension so that we can all the more celebrate that victory when it does come time for us to come together once again, when it does come time for us to celebrate the resurrection of our Lord Jesus Christ once again in person together.